Hi folks, welcome to Coffee with John. It's Monday and we're into 1 John chapter 1 verse 5, and just a great thought. I hope you get this and you're as encouraged by this as I am. Apologies, you see that I was down swimming and my towel's hanging up beside me. I've lost my stand for some reason, but I'll find it anyway. So, we are at 1 John 1 verse 5. This is the message we have heard from him and declare to you. God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. Now, I find this encouraging in lots of ways. One of them is just simply being, and perhaps for me this is the main way. Sometimes when a darkness comes on you, sometimes when you have dark thoughts, sometimes when you're filled with fears and doubts, sometimes when the accuser comes and says, is God really good? Sometimes when you're discussing with people and they're saying, well, why did God let this happen? Or maybe even you think it yourself. You need to realize that there's no darkness in God. We can't say that of ourselves. One of my favorite films is Apocalypse Now, based on Joseph Conrad's book, Heart of Darkness, which explores the darkness within humanity. There is no darkness within God. Now, this whole theme of light and darkness is one that we're going to be looking at a lot. And it's repeated in John, in this letter of John, several times. It's also, of course, repeated in the Gospel of John. And also, by the way, it's something with which the pagans and the Hellenistic Greeks would have been really aware of, this, the Zoroastrians, this idea of light and darkness. In the Old Testament, light is used to symbolize truth and darkness is error. So we were looking last night in church about Jesus saying, I am the truth. I think also light is kind of like enlightenment, when you get to grasp and to understand things. But when it's saying about God, I think I read, and I thought this was a very good way of describing it, that God is absolute in his glory. That's the kind of physical side of it. God is absolute in his truth. That's the intellectual. And God is absolute in his holiness. That's the moral. So intellectually, physically, morally, spiritually, God is absolute, pure light. Pure light. And I don't really want to say anything more than that, because that is the most encouraging thing for a believer in God to know. I'm not light. This world is not light. We get reflections of the light. We see shadows on the wall. Think of Plato's The Cave. But God himself is light. And when we come into the light, that has consequences, as we will see tomorrow. But please, I hope you get some comfort from knowing that there's no darkness in God. There is no evil in God. There is no lovelessness in God. In him. This is the message we've heard, he says. We heard it from Jesus. This is what we saw. We declare to you, God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. I think that's the basis for all your theology. And to be honest, I think it's the basis for the Christian life. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.